Are you ready?
How have you found the state championships?
Oh, excellent. Love these. I love the Palmerston Club. It's really well set up. It's great to get around. It's just unfortunate that it's really hot at the moment.
Yeah, it is very warm. Yeah, it's very warm. And the two clubs will be working together for the national championships in 2 years.
Yep, definitely. The idea of us, well, I think individually the clubs wouldn't have the facilities to be able to do it, but jointly I think we would be able to put on a good show.
And what have you found the best about this championship so far?
The common, just the friendships, the people you. Literally, it is one of those things you've never met somebody, but they'll sit down and have a chat with you, and you'll talk about how your shoot's gone. You've talked about the day, how everybody's helping each other. It's just a great camaraderie. It's just a great way of doing things.
Done some of your 20-second series for the standard pistol. How'd you go?
Not too good actually. Had a couple of stoppages, so yeah, just learning to roll with the punches.
And how's the standard going today overall?
Pretty much exactly like that. You know, there's a number of stoppages throughout the match. I've just got to roll with it. Got to keep smiling and roll with it.
It's terrific. It's a lovely place to be. We've got a big club with little people, and because I caretake, I've got a range to play with every day. But I don't use it necessarily unless... But we're thoroughly looking forward to improving our facilities. I think we need a few changes and a few upgrades for our members, and a bit of, I suppose you could say, a better use of our ranges, and we don't have enough events. Being in the territory, everything's a bit distant. You can tell by the mat behind me we don't have many clubs, and so we don't get to move a lot. So if we get a few people up here, then we can really use this great facility, which I think it is, a bit unusual, a bit tropical, open backs. I don't know how that feels for down south. And no cold mornings, just a bit of fog in the heat sometimes. But it's a great spot to be. It's helped me come back into shooting because I've walked away from it for many years.
Nice. And you were telling me earlier that you actually got married here.
Yeah, funny thing. Funny thing, I gave up shooting, like I said, and came across this lovely man who said, marry me, and I said, I will. And he said, well, I'm caretaking at the Palmerston Pistol Club, and how about we have our wedding breakfast here? And so we thought, well, that's a bloody sterling idea. And I don't think we told anyone in the club. And so our current air hall which is AP2, was only a roof, and we set it up with many tables and heliconias and gingers and eskies in bays about 1 to 8. And we're here still and celebrated our wedding. And then the next morning, so we're still here and were welcomed by the members of the Palmerston Pistol Club who realised they couldn't shoot free pistol that day. So yes, we're a little bit entrenched, my husband and I. He's not a shooter, but he lets me and puts up with me. I went overseas and I shot in Seoul, Korea for the first World Air Gun Championships. Australia was very proactive in promoting juniors. They decided, well, now's the time probably to stop them just patching and we'll give the juniors a bit of a run. And Paul and Kerry Ann Steen actually were a couple of the first well-known junior competitors. And yet look at them now, they're still involved in the sport and they're still proudly part of that sport. And this is what I'm enjoying about shooting. It is quite a family orientated, and once you're involved, it's a lifelong sport, and it gives you opportunity just to be a member all the way up to an Olympian and everything in between, whatever level you choose to do. If you just wish to be part of the scoring mob or part of a shooting area or a training, coaching, avenues everywhere. The opportunities are just huge. I had a bit of a 20-year exodus from here, or at least I gave up shooting for a period of time because I had a health issue. Can I? So I have multiple sclerosis, which when you're a highly trained, highly acclaimed junior athlete and your body fails, it kind of takes the wind from your sails and knocks you down for 6. But the strength and confidence and persistence I gained through shooting and self-discipline has helped me become here today still with my MS. And it helped me walk back into the Nationals at 2010, first years back, I think 1985 might have been, somewhere around then I shot. And to walk back in and see the same people, a lot of the same people, all still loving what they do. Some of them older and fatter. Some of them I always thought were old. And then they still look at me like a little 16-year-old. But to come back and still be on that equal stand, and even though I've had health challenges, this sport gave me purpose again.
And we've got the NT titles here this weekend. How is that going?
Oh, it's going great, Jess. We were a little bit interrupted last year with the COVID, and we had a very in-house, in NT kind of a very poorly attended titles. And we're delighted that we've had so many people come this year, and we're hosting here at Palmerston. But the fact that people have been able to travel up and escape some of the areas down south has helped us enjoy a very good weekend. I hope this weekend. The weather's been fine, the shooting's been fine. Midges haven't been too bad. A bit tropical, and we were a little bit delighted this morning to have a little mini earthquake, and so that another point of difference here in the Territory.
In 2023, the NT of Darwin itself is sent to host the PA and ISSF Nationals between Palmerston here and Darwin.
That's right.
So we're quite excited about that.
You're excited.
Yes.
We're excited to be able to showcase the NT again. It's been a long time. We've had some action match nationals in the NT at Darwin Pistol Club, but the ISSF PA haven't conducted a nationals here since 1980, and even then PA wasn't, I don't believe, quite on the world map at that point. So it's been 43 years, and Darwin's ready and looking forward to exposing a few crocodiles and maybe putting a few barra in the pond so you can catch them. Oh, it's going to be wonderful though for the NT. We're not only Darwin and Palmerston hosting, but we're trying to encourage the smaller little clubs, Tennant Creek and and Catherine to put it in the diary so they can come along and be part of the festival will be. And we are looking forward to really giving you a good event, nice and warm, guaranteed no rain, well, maybe, and generally just a good old honest shoot.
And not only are you on the board of Pistol NT, but you're also leading a charge for promoting women in shooting. So tell me a bit about that.
Well, yes, I can't help being one. And possibly because I'm now old enough to look back to my own shooting career and realise how, as a junior, let me take it right back even further. As a baby on a range with shooting parents, I had no option but to really enjoy pistol shooting, or at least enjoy being at ranges. All the children were sent off and told to be safe and be back by the time you don't hear another shot. But to that, I grew up on ranges, and so I was, what would you call, I was a gun baby and always hung around and learnt a lot. To fast forward to when I could shoot. And I was very fortunate enough to be in a club in Canberra National, situated where there was a high level and a high participation of shooting. And I had some incredibly good female mentors, or not mentors, they were just fellow shooters. My parents and other shooting people around me that helped me thoroughly enjoy being a woman in the sport, because it was just pretty much just a sport we could all do, and I just love beating the blokes. And I love shooting against the women as a junior. And then the opportunities that afforded me, and then so we're going back about nearly 40 years, so now I can look back and, I guess, as my darling would say up from up top, my mama, it is your duty to give back to the sport that supported you as a young junior. And to that end, I've had various conversations with Noel and yourself, championing, trying to consider, well, the women in our sport really have made quite a significant contribution that not necessarily should be seen as in medals, first and second, but we have a lot of women who have supported those who medal or enable people to shoot well by just being there, not all as a competitor, but all sorts of avenues of officiating and the club committees and the mums who bothered to get the kids to the range. The influence the women in shooting have had on me personally and as a shooter, absolutely, I cannot stop remarking on the amount of influence and strength that has given me. Plus I shot with Patty. Hello, Patty. And Linda Ryan was a junior, I think, and I'd already walked out of shooting. And then I've come back in and I've seen all these women, young juniors who have now strived and have made Australian and teams and Australian titles and records, and it's just delightful to look back and see how the women have progressed quietly, supporting a lot of what would be a male-dominated sport.
Yeah. And as part of your championing women or recognising the achievements of women in this sport, you are a big pusher of starting a women's conference?
Yes, I would have liked to have seen. I saw a bit of a thing on the Women's Day, which is a bit political, women in International Women's Day. And that gave me pause for thought to think, well, how about we do a bit of promoting our women in sport? And I think I put together a whole heap of thoughts and trying to remember all the women that influenced me over the years, and pondered whether it might be a good idea for futures to look to the history, have a few people get together, put old heads with new heads, old techniques with new theories, and see how we could best promote the women's progress in our sport. And I had a little bit of a chat with Noel a couple of years ago, and like I said, I was out for 20 years, so unfortunately I may offend a heap of the wonderful champions of the 90s because I just wasn't there. I'm sorry, I didn't read a lot of it. But Judy Trim was a massive influence. She was a shooter when I was shooting. And then, of course, you had my parents who were in shooting, and Mum went international, and I was shooting all these international people, and I thought, well, hang on, we're getting all these accolades for people of late, but there were some people who've done a lot of good things early on, and I would love to see the shooters of today remember that it was the people who came before them that helped them to be in the situations they are. If more of us got together, and not just the shooting competitors, but all of those involved, the administrators, the people like yourself, NRC, which if I may, used to be a very male-dominated area, and it was delightful when I think Jocelyn Polly was one of the first to be adorned a Judge B under much grumbling and to do from some of the older, but open the door, and you've got the rats, the recording and scoring women, and they have done wonderful achievements, and anyone can score, male or female, anyone can administrate, male or female, and so I'm enjoying the fact that I'd like to champion a lot more of female participation to help inspire more female participation.
You are here all the way from Queensland to compete in the Northern Territory state titles.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's pretty good actually. Yeah, it's been really relaxed. Very relaxed club.
No, that's good. And how's your shooting going?
Fair. Yeah. A little bit of pressure, my own pressure. Yeah.
You were saying that you've been on the road for a while now and you've still got another month, so it's a nice holiday.
A nice holiday. Yeah. We'll end up at Toowoomba Shoot. Yeah, so they're open. Yeah.
Awesome. You have a pretty cool pistol stand out there. Just tell me about that.
Yeah, my husband made that for me for my birthday many years ago. So yeah, encouraging me to shoot.
Welcome all the interstate visitors, everyone who's trying to avoid COVID or has come up for work purposes. Welcome again to the NT. Thanks for coming up from Tennant Creek, Brendan, and thanks for the Darwin Pistol Club members coming across to Palmerston Pistol Club. Thank you again to Palmerston Pistol Club for running the event. It's a great success.
NT for terrific titles.